What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. It has been a while since I have posted a video. There has been so many things happening. It's just been a very busy time for me. It is summer, so I'm trying to get as much time, outside of the house and out and about as I possibly can. So, it's just been a busy time. But I am back. I'll probably be a little inconsistent for a little bit, but I am still around. I mentioned some rescues a while back, and well, they are finally here. But before we get to them, I want to give you guys an update on what's happening with my animals, because there are some things. Well, first, I down a snake. Nakia Wakanda, the sunbeam snake, did pass away, and it sucked, but I was kind of prepared. Just because when I initially got Nakia Wakanda, I stayed on them for about a year. Was very hesitant to get one, even after doing all the research. Mostly because of one, they are not very visual snakes. You don't really get to see them. They stay on the ground, and I like to be able to see my snakes. So I was hesitant, but I eventually got over that. But then also because they have a high fatality rate. There's not very many people out there who have been able to successfully keep them, and so I think a lot of that is because most of the ones that you can get are wild caught, and then they come with a lot of parasites and whatnot. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give it a shot. It's only a $50 snake, but I would really love to have this, and I would love to be able to successfully keep one of these. So let's see what I can do. And so I got one. And it's been over a year, and I was like, all right, well, it's going good. Now, when I initially got the snake, knowing that it's going to come with a lot of parasites or whatever, I took it straight to the vet, and it did go through some treatments, and everything was great. She was great. She was, to all intents and purposes, she was healthy. She was eating, and that was that. I did not take her back to the vet after the treatments were all done because we as you just at this point you just like, well, you went through the first treatments, and I thought everything would be fine. If there's anything that shows up, it would show up, and it didn't. Nothing showed up, and obviously here we are over a year later, and something showed up, and it was just the first 2 weeks of not eating, and then she passed away. So I didn't. It's a complicated situation, and it sucks, but but yeah, it's a complicated situation and it sucks, but it's an experience. It is one that I've learned from, when getting captive snakes, especially ones that have come with potentially a lot of parasites. Yes, it's important to get them to that initial vet visit. Take care of those things. But I think in this particular case, I should have continued to take Nikhil kind of to vets just for regular checkups, at least every other month. Kind of like I would a dog or a cat, because of the fact that whatever this was something that reared its head very late. Like, it didn't matter that I still got that first set of treatments. This was something that a year later has showed up. And so, it goes to show you that even with quarantine, we can do our 1 to 3 month quarantine. Some people will do 90 days, 99 months or whatever. But at the end of the day, even after that, something could still show up, especially with these wild caught snakes. And so that's just something we all have to remember when it comes to getting snakes that are more than likely caught from the wild, and come with parasites. They require more checkups than just your typical snakes. You can leave your other snakes in quarantine and just wait for something to show up. But I think if you're getting a snake that's really straight from the wild, regular checkups are a thing to do, especially if you don't want to risk losing them. Like, yeah, you can just wait through the quarantine period and hope that nothing happens. But in this case, it was very quick. Like, it was no feeding, and then for 2 weeks, and that's not something to be super concerned about, and then death. So even with quarantine, sometimes these things happen. But yes, there's that. But also, I am down the lizard. And that is because now we have had Sarabi down in my dining room area for a while, and we have all sat there and thoroughly enjoyed watching her fight, do everything in her power, trying to get out of her enclosure before she gives up and just roams around because she was just always attempting to escape. And we would just watch, and we'd enjoy watching her, and we'd all laugh about how hard she was trying with no success. Well, last week, about a week and a half ago, actually, I was walking past her enclosure, and I noticed I hadn't seen her in a few days. Now, this was not uncommon because she is one that goes under the ground and will stay there for a few days and then resurface. I usually don't get worried if I don't see her for about 2 days. So, but this time, after about 2 days, I noticed I hadn't seen her, and I was like, I'm just gonna go in there and check on her. So I poked around, just lifted up all her hide areas, and she wasn't there. And then I started poking into the dirt, and she wasn't coming up. And then, of course, I went into panic mode and started ripping everything apart. And lo and behold, she was not in there. To my surprise, to my roommate's surprise, everybody in the house is extremely shocked and confused because we've all watched her and she's never been able to get out, and we don't understand how she got out this time, but she is. So we have not been able to find her. We are in a house. There has been windows open, doors left open. It's been hot. Um, so and I'll be honest. I am really hoping for her survival that she got out of the house, not is somewhere in the house where she doesn't have very much access to food, where she doesn't have access to water, where she doesn't have access to UV. I'm really hoping that she got out of the house. And you're probably like, well, why? That's like promoting, you know, invasive species. No, no, because this particular alligator lizard was actually wild caught from this area. Not this particular area, but in this region. So I don't really consider it an invasive species that has been released, but because there are other alligator lizards around here, if that's a thing. So I'm not concerned about that. But why and would I want her to be out? Because, like I said, she'd actually have to be able to find herself water. She was wild caught before originally. A mom and her son found her, but her son grew into snakes, so they were gonna release her. But I guess the wildlife individuals said that she wouldn't survive if she went out to the wild, which doesn't really make sense to me because she came from it. I think she'd be able to adapt back to it pretty quickly. But anyway, they decided to rehome her, and now I got her. But now I think she has freed herself and put herself back to the wild. At least I kind of hope that is the case. It's been a week and a half. I would hate for her to have been. We have a dog who's not really used to lizards. Like if she's somewhere in heat, and if she got her, she could be hurt. She could be dead. In the house is just not safe. If she got out, I mean, it's not safe out there with predators either, but it's safer than here because she knows how to take care of herself. She knows how to hide. She knows how to find food. She knows how to find water, and there's sunlight. So anyway, that sucks, but I'm still hoping that she does show up somewhere in the house. But I also kind of hope that if she's not still in the house at this point, because she probably is not in a good way. If she's outside, she's probably surviving. It'd be a great time for her to be out because it's nice and it's hot summertime. But anyway, so there's that. And this video is getting long, so I'm going to stop talking about that. Those are the two updates. I'm down a snake, down a lizard. Both those things suck. And I know it seems like I'm not like all emotional about it. It's been a while though. Like I've gone through the emotions of it all, so you're not seeing that right now. So don't make judgments on my not being all crushed and stressed about it because I've gone through all that. I've processed it. So, but anyway, we're gonna go inside now and we're gonna go check out our new rescues and talk a little bit about what's happening with them. All right, everybody, we are back on the inside here. So this is the adult female that I have had relinquished to me. She is reasonably healthy. She looks good. She's not really my concern. She was just relinquished with me to me with the other two. I think they were just they felt more comfortable with me just go ahead and taking them all. I believe there was a male, but I think they rehomed that one to somebody else. So she's in there. She's shy. She's very beautiful, though, isn't she? So let's go ahead and take a look over at the babies who are our actual concern. So, and this is just a very basic setup right now because, as I said, they literally just got here. Can't poopy out of there. Oh, that was a piece of oatmeal. Weird. So, anyway, here are the babies. Here they are. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get as clear of a shot here as I can. You can see their arms there are very misshapen. They have a really strange wobble to them when they are moving. And they're just not the healthiest, you know? Look at them. Look at that. So this is a pretty good case of MBD in both of these guys. If you don't know what that is metabolic bone disease. And so I am going to have to figure out what my treatment plan is going to be. I haven't decided if I'm going to actually get a UV light to help with that and like maybe just be more cautious on the 3D or D3, or if I'm just going to see if providing them with all the actual calcium and vitamins that they need will help at least stop the progression of the MBD. There's nothing that can be done about the shape of their legs now. That is what it is. They're going to forever have those funky moving legs. But I'm hoping that I can salvage their lives, get them healthy again, at least stop the progression of it, get them with some weight on them, and they'll be quirky little geckos, but they'll survive. I believe it. I have hope. And I just got to figure out what's going to be the best method for me. I'm going to look into what a few other people do. For now, I just have them with some vitamins and calcium actually provided to them in that little cup over here. That's their calcium, and I will dust their food and see if people would prefer. I think it's best to go that route, or if UV light actually introduced to them will help them get better quicker. So anyway, there you guys go. There they are. I will obviously, take you guys step by step through the recovery process with these guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them in the long run, or if I will end up rehoming them to a knowledgeable person, or if I will end up keeping them myself as pets. I do plan to keep Mama. I think this is Mama. I'm pretty positive she gave birth to them. I need to confirm that, but I'm definitely planning to keep her because she's beautiful, and she's healthy, and already full grown. So, and I think they said that she might be pregnant, but I don't know. I really need to confirm with that if they know for sure that that's a thing that happened, or if they're still like, that could be a thing. She could still be pregnant. But I think that was something that was said. And if so, that means I need to get a lay box and stuff going for her. So, otherwise, but mostly my focus is on these guys. My focus is getting them back to health, getting them healthy, and stopping the progression of the MBD that they are both currently going through. So, I don't want to make this video super long. I know it's been a while, so it's going to be long anyway, but that's it, you guys. You guys take care. Love yourselves. Love your loved ones. You guys keep spreading those herps.